Welcome to another episode of Series C Growthonomics. Today we will continue our conversation on customer analytics. Last time we talked about why we need customer analytics. Today I wanted to focus on acquisition analytics. So in the context of the example that we were talking about in case of our New York, 100 years ago, New York City tailor who builds men's suit. When they think about acquisition, there is an inherent thought process. They would know because they know Mr. Jones and Mr. Smith. They know their customers by name. He knows that tailor knows, or the tailor owner knows the customers by name and by. They know that hey, some of our customers who come from the east side are going to be cost sensitive. Those who are going to come from the north and the west side are not that cost sensitive. So in case I'm showing them options for men's suit or fabric or whatever else, I have to be aware of that. And such customer, when a new customer comes from this area, I know what's going to be important for them. For example, or if a new customer comes from a reference from another of such kind of customer, what does that mean? All of this is, in a way, acquisition analytics, which is happening in their head. Now we fast forward 100 years to now, where you are running, where you are running this, and especially today we want to talk about acquisition. So you're running this men's warehouse, an app where you're selling men's suits and retailing it, and you have 1 million customers, you have a 1 million monthly active users every month. So the question is, what does acquisition look like, and what does and specifically as we're talking about within customer analytics, when we're talking about acquisition analytics, what does it look like? So think about, we are right now talking about new customers. We're going to talk about retaining and retained customers next time, but new customers, there are two things you need to talk about. One is acquisition, how do you optimize that acquisition, and the other part is what is called habituation. How do you make sure that they are habituated to what you're providing and you are the solution which comes to them? Within acquisition analytics, if you think about this website, and this is abcmenssuit.com, there are different places that the traffic is coming from. So one of the ways the traffic is coming in from is what's called organic, right? People are searching for men's warehouse, men's clothes, or whatever else, and whatever your keywords that you have optimized your website for, that's people are flowing into your website and seeing whether that solution is right or not. The other very common channel that people come in through is what's called PPC or paid, where you are showing ads for people who are typing certain keywords. You are showing them ads. You bought those ads, and if they are clicking in, they are coming in through a paid medium. There's also another, so there's organic PPC, and then there's what is called, you can think of it as partnership or referral for your company. Given that you're selling men's suits, you might be partnering with some, wedding, for example, wedding guides, where when people start planning for wedding, they go to wedding guides, and from there they know that they would need suits, and so on. So they could be partnership sites where you have, where again you are paying some money, or sometimes it is also free, but it's you're buying a banner on those websites. So in those particular, like some ABC wedding guides, you have bought a banner which takes people to your abcmenssuit.com. So this is the mechanism. These are the three ways: organic, PPC, paid, and partnerships are the three ways in which traffic is flowing to your website. And the acquisition analytics, it deals with figuring out what works for you. And when you think about what works, you have to think about success metric. What is that? What does work mean? What does it mean when this acquisition is a good acquisition versus a bad acquisition? And a metric to think about which in the context of paid ad is called return on ad spend. The other, so this is return on ad spend is one way of saying, I spend every time. So for a 100K spend per month, I acquire customers who eventually end up spending, so I acquire customers for 100K spend. Let's say I acquire 3,000 customers who end up spending $100 each over the course of 1 year. And so if I'm doing the math right, it's 300K. So my return on ad spend is 3x, right? That's your return on ad spend explained. The other way, another key metric that we look at is called cost of acquisition, COA, where you look at what is one acquisition costing you. And this acquisition analytics, you are being very clear on these different sources. For example, organic. Where exactly, what sources of organic? Is it google.com? Is it bing.com? What sites of organic searches work for you and give you good conversion, good cost of acquisition? When you look at cost for an organic, you're thinking, okay, I don't spend money on organic, but you are spending some money on content and so on and so forth to create that flow. So think about cost of acquisition, and return on ad spend is one of the two key metrics when you look at acquisition analytics. And in that realm, when you look at acquisition analytics, or when you're looking at return on ad spend, or you're looking at cost of acquisition, COA, or cost per click, or whatever else, this is when you start again doing one of the process that we talked about, which is what are the drivers of these metrics, and understanding your sources of traffic and their relative success. And the success is how you're going to define your success. Could be cost of acquisition, ROAS, or even conversion. Of the 100 people who come to our website, when they come from abcweddingguides.com, 2 people convert. Whereas if 100 people come from organic search, 0.1 convert, and so on. So acquisition analytics, which is what we are talking about here, acquisition analytics is, do you understand where your best of your customers come from, where you acquire them? And once you understand them, can you double down on them and take the focus away from them? This is what is acquisition analytics. And all of that, acquisition analytics is the key metric that you're looking to optimize is return on ad spend and COA. So for example, with the same 100K spend, I was able to do last year, I was able to do 300K. Now I have optimized my channels. I'm able to do 500K. So I have, by using insights from acquisition analytics, I have improved my return on ad spend from 3x to 5x, and so on. So that's acquisition analytics in a nutshell. The other part of the acquisition side is habituation. So yes, one person, you were running an ad or a discount for acquisition. By the way, as you're thinking about return on ad spend and cost of acquisition, there's a lot of first time discount that you're looking at. You have to think about what exactly are you giving off, $10 off, 10% off. What is it that you're giving them off, and you factor that into your return on ad spend and cost of acquisition. And you might decide to do some particular discounts on certain acquisition source where you can make more money versus not. So all this analysis comes in from your cost of basically this analysis. The other one is habituation that I was talking about. So one person came in, they bought their first suit with you. How do you know what are the things they do? They do after they buy the suit, they buy some accessories, or they subscribe to your newsletter, or they basically look at your how to take care of your suits kind of video tutorials or whatever. What is it that those people who are retained, what are the things they do that habituates them? And so that's another analytics, and that basically helps you understand what are the key things you need to enable your customers to find. Enable that, through your push notification, through your emails, through your other ways. How do you enable that discovery so that your customers are habituated, so next time they need the men's suit, they come to you, right? So these are the two kinds of analytics that you should pay attention to as you are building your customer analytics, especially as it relates to acquisition. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Next time, I will talk about retention, those customers that you have had for a while. How do you retain them? And then how do you increase the value, the value that you provide to them as a result, the value that they spend with you. See you next time.